Okay, so we step to the contrapositive. Again, the contrapositive will switch the order and negate. So I'm going to just copy it, but I've got to switch my letters around and also negate it. So I'm going to have to switch P and Q. Q will come first, but negate Q, I have to put the symbol for not in front of it. Alright, so I'd also put the squiggle, the not symbol, in front of P. And there you have it, the contrapositive. Alright, let's try another one. So we have to do the converse, inverse, and contrapositive of the statement. And just to translate it, you would say if not are, okay, because there is a squiggle in front of the are. So if not are, then S. So that's how this statement would translate into, into words, okay? So we're going to go ahead and do the converse, inverse, and contrapositive. So let me duplicate it. And again, converse just switches the letters. So I'm going to have to put not S, not R, completely said that wrong. Anyways, not R. Okay, so there you go. I switched the order. The inverse will negate. So let me copy this and make it really simple. Alright, so I'm going to have to negate it. That means I'm going to have to remove the squiggle. Okay, so it goes from not R to R. And then I'm going to have to add a squiggle in front of S. Alright, and then the contrapositive, let me duplicate my original, and then let's rearrange this. So for contrapositive, we have to change the order and negate. So I'm going to write S first, but I have to negate it, so I'm going to write not S, and then the not R, you can see it up here, not R, I'm going to write that second, but I have to negate it, so not R will become R. Alright, so there are the converse, inverse, contrapositive for symbolic statements. Now, our last page. We're going to translate to symbols. So we're going to write a symbolic representation of each of the statements. Alright, so at the top is what we call a key, and it just tells you what the symbols represent. So symbols, these are letters. They represent a statement. So P is going to represent two angles are supplementary. Alright, then we have another letter, letter Q, to represent the statement the angles measures add up to 180. Okay, so we have 4 different statements we have to translate. Alright, so basically we have, we're going to replace the statements with the letter that represents them. And then we're going to also use the symbols. I'm going to backtrack right here. Also use those symbols to replace the words that are used. So the first one, it starts with if. Alright, so it's an if-then statement. So backtrack. The symbol for if-then is an arrow. So we're going to have to stick an arrow between 2 of the letters. So we'll figure that out in a minute. So that letter that would come first would be whatever represents 2 angles are supplementary. So that would be letter P. Letter P is 2 angles are supplementary. So I'm going to get P down there first. Now I need my arrow because this is an if-then sentence. So if P, then, okay, now I got to translate their angles measures add to 180, which would be letter Q. Alright, so I took a sentence and I translated it to just symbols, okay? The next one, if the angles measures do not add to 180, so I can tell that this has been negated. Do not add to 180, alright? Where up here it says the angles measures add to 180. So I had to negate, I'm going to have to negate my letter Q using the symbol for not, which was the squiggle. So I gotta negate the letter Q. I'm gonna get it, here we go. So if not Q, again, because it's an if, then sentence. If not Q, then I gotta figure out what would go next. Let me get my arrow. So the next part would be, then they are not supplementary. So I believe, again, I've got, it's negated. They are not supplementary. When up here it says they are. So I'm going to have to negate or use the symbol for not in front of P. So I'm going to have to add the squiggle. Oh, it's going to be a little bit confusing. Okay, so here we go. The squiggle, that's not a squiggle. There we go. Oh, that's not a squiggle. And, oh, I know what's going on. Technical difficulties. All right, there we go. Not in front of my P. Okay, there we go. It's two more. So C, two angles are supplementary if and only if. Oh, I remember seeing this. And I told you guys that this was the biconditional. If and only if. So flashback to our symbols. Oh, the Eagles scored. Sorry, I'm watching the Redskins Eagle game. Anyways, the biconditional symbol is my double-sided arrow. I'm wanting the Redskins to win. Not looking good. So if and only if is the double arrow. So we're gonna go ahead and see what letters go in outside that arrow. So two angles are supplementary. That was letter P. So P. Now, if and only if is that double-sided arrow. So let me see if I got one. I don't know. I don't have a double-sided arrow here. Let's see. If not, we can just draw one. Let's just draw one. So let me get a double-sided arrow. There we go. If and only if. So that's the symbol for the biconditional. If and only if. Their measures add to 180. So that was the measures add to 180. That's Q. So just put my Q. Here we go. So it would say, you would read it P if and only if Q. If you were to translate this. Alright. D, last one. Two angles are supplementary or two angles are not supplementary. So I believe we learned what the symbol for or looks like in flashback. It looks like a letter V, capital V. So I just got to put that between the two letters. Okay, so two angles are supplementary would be P. So I'm going to start with P. Or, there we go. Two angles are not supplementary. Oh, so I'm going to use the symbol for not. And then it was the same letter. And there you go. P or not P. And that's it. So you're done. Great job.